Welcome to the entire crypto fam. The market is pumping. Bitcoin to the moon. Let's get it. In today's show, Bitcoin price jumps to 2-week highs on Grayscale versus the SEC. Bitcoin ETF win. That's right. Breaking news in that Grayscale wins the SEC lawsuit to approve their Grayscale Bitcoin Trust into a spot Bitcoin ETF in the United States. We'll also be sharing breaking news. X is now licensed to transfer, store, and exchange Bitcoin and digital assets for its users, as well as breaking news. BitBoy Crypto got fired from his own YouTube channel. Why is that? We'll be breaking this down. We'll also be discussing Bitcoin flashing bullish signal that previously preceded a 214% rally, according to macro guru Raoul Pal, as well as Bitcoin may hit $100,000 per coin by capturing even 2 to 5% of the gold market cap, according to Hut 8. We'll also be discussing Bitcoin permeable Max Keiser predicting the Bitcoin price to skyrocket to $1 million per coin, quoting him here. So even 1% of that multi-$100 trillion funds available moves the needle on Bitcoin, and it moves up considerably. So if we get into the 5 to 10% range, then you start to really see it raise ahead to the 7-figure price predictions that people have been making, including myself, because Bitcoin is an asset class. And also quoting him here, Bitcoin has already and will continue to outperform everything else so spectacularly by 100x or more that anyone holding fiat, stocks, bonds, gold, and all of the ish coins, property, etc. will literally be impoverished. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market, all this plus so much more in today's show. And welcome y'all in the live chat just joining us. It's a beautiful day. Bitcoin is up literally thousands of dollars as we continue to pump. A quick reminder to smash that like button. It's free to do so, and it helps out tremendously with the YouTube algorithm. And also, if you like receiving daily premium crypto news alerts every day like this, be sure to smash that subscribe button and ring that bell to turn on all notifications. And I recently created a secondary channel called Crypto News Alerts Clips. If you want to see clips from the daily live stream, I encourage you to subscribe, and I appreciate the continued support. So welcome again to everyone in that live chat. Let's kick off today's show with our market watch. Be sure to say hello and let me know where you're tuning in that live chat. I'm your host, JV. Today is August 29, 2023, and we have a fantastic show for you today. As you can see, the entire market is pumping. We got Bitcoin up over 7% for the day in the forest green, hovering just under 28,000. We have Ether up 5%, trading back above $1,700. And checking out coinmarketcap.com, we're currently sitting at 1.11 trillion, up about 6% for the day, with about 50 billion in volume at the past 24 hours, literally up 110%, with the Bitcoin dominance at 49.1% and the Ether dominance at 18.9%. And checking out the top 100 crypto gainers of the past 24 hours, we have BCH up 17%, trading at $222, followed by Blockstacks up 12%, trading just above 51 cents, followed by Toncoin up 11%, trading at $1.66. And checking out the top 100 crypto gainers for the past week, literally, it looks like 100 out of 100, or I'd say 99 out of the top 100 tokens are in the green and pumping like a mofo, with Hex leading the pack up literally over 20%. And checking out the Crypto Greed and Fear Index, we're currently rated a 39. Yesterday was a 39 in fear, last week a 37, last month a 52, which is neutral. So there you have it. Exciting times in the crypto market. I live for days like this. So let's dive right into today's Bitcoin technical analysis and check out the charts and why Bitcoin is pumping along with the entire crypto market right now. Bitcoin neared 2-week highs August 29th as news hit that the digital asset manager Grayscale had won the lawsuit against United States regulators. Now, if you didn't know, Grayscale is the largest holder of Bitcoin in the entire world, currently with over 400,000 BTC in their possession. So this is a pretty big deal. Right here, you're looking at the Bitcoin one-day candle chart. Data from Cointelegraph Markets Pro and TradingView captured the instant price reaction to the event, with the Bitcoin price gaining $1,700 in literally around 30 minutes. The news upended a stale Bitcoin trading environment that had endured after the snap losses in mid-August. A ruling by the U.S. Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia Circuit stated that the U.S. SEC and they were wrong to reject the application by Grayscale to launch the ETF using the Bitcoin spot price as its basis. Quoting them here, the denial of Grayscale's proposal was arbitrary and capricious because the SEC failed to explain its different treatment of similar products. We therefore grant Grayscale's petition and vacate the order. A massive W for the entire crypto industry and a big L, a big fat L for the SEC. Now, Grayscale thus joins the waiting list of firms seeking to launch what would become the first Bitcoin spot ETF, with the SEC yet to approve any other application. Now, data from Binance order book uploaded to X by monitoring resource material indicators covered the uptick, with all the order classes boosting the buy-in and what the market was lacking, which is liquidity. Quoting them here, a 6-month view of the order book data shows thin liquidity to the upside. That should quite easy to exploit for the retest to the 30s. Now, we have yet to see enough sentiment to do that because the market fears what will happen if Bitcoin starts printing lower lows. Now, continuing the reaction, we had crypto analyst Mikhail Van de Popp, who shared the following: "This might sound weird, but we could be on the verge of a start of a bull cycle with this news," and it does seem to be this way. And also shared here, Michael Sonnenschein, "Thank you to everyone who has been on this journey with us, especially our investors. We are grateful for your support and encouragement. Next up, our legal team is actively reviewing the court's opinion." So currently, GBTC, which is the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust share price, literally up over 17% at this time, as you can see it pumping on this chart. So there you have it. Pretty major news coming all across the crypto sphere, hence again why the market is pumping so much, and we're on the cusp of recapturing 28,000 as support. So onwards and upwards. Now let's break down our next story of the day in a little more detail and discuss this Grayscale win versus the SEC, which is, again, a major deal, hence why the market is pumping. Crypto asset management giant Grayscale has scored a major victory against the US SEC in its efforts to convert its over-the-counter GBTC application into a listed Bitcoin ETF. According to August 29th court filings, they go on to share, actually just quoting Sonnenschein here, "The DC Circuit ruled in favor of Grayscale in our lawsuit challenging the SEC's decision to deny GBTC's conversion to an ETF." So take that, Gary Gensler. Thanks to everyone who has been on this journey with us. And then continuing, on June 29th, the SEC denied Grayscale's application to convert GBTC into the spot ETF. The next day, Grayscale senior legal strategist, former U.S. Solicitor General Donald Verrill Jr., filed a petition for the review of the United States Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia. At the time, the CEO, Michael Sonnenschein of Grayscale, said in a statement that the firm was deeply disappointed and vehemently disagreed with the SEC's decision to deny their application. Grayscale is the largest over-the-counter traded Bitcoin fund in the world, with over $14 billion in assets under management. Again, they control over 400,000 BTC. Earlier in the year, shares of GBTC traded at nearly a 50% discount to the net asset value due to the firm's then ongoing litigation with the SEC and credit concerns regarding its parent digital currency group company. Now, in October of 2022, Grayscale terminated material agreements with its partner and digital currency broker Genesis Global, and on November 16, 2022, Genesis Global paused withdrawals, citing unprecedented market turmoil amid the collapse of crypto exchange FTX. The firm was also impacted by the collapse of Singaporean crypto hedge fund Three Arrows Capital, with $1.2 billion debt owed to Genesis still unpaid. And in January of this year, it was disclosed that CG owes creditors over $3 billion. And so, considering a $500 million venture capital portfolio sale, Genesis Global owes $900 million a loan to users of crypto exchange Gemini's Earn program. So there you have it. Now the million-dollar question becomes, what spot ETF will likely be approved first? Will it be Grayscale's conversion from the GBTC to a spot Bitcoin ETF here in the United States? Will it be Blackrock? There's a lot of competitors. The dominoes are starting to fall, and the Bitcoin game theory continues in full effect. So let me know how you feel this is likely to play out. All I know is this is amongst the most bullish news we can receive, as there's literally trillions of dollars sitting on the sidelines just awaiting to enter Bitcoin, kind of like Bruce Lee entered the dragon, just saying. Anyways, fam, now let's break down the latest. Actually, this is breaking news I wanted to share with you. X, formerly known as Twitter, is now licensed to store, transfer, and exchange Bitcoin as well as digital assets for its users. So you can see the Bitcoin adoption and game theory continuing over with Elon Musk, which we love to see. Now let's discuss more breaking news. BitBoy Crypto, the largest crypto YouTube channel with roughly 1.5 million subs. He got fired from his own channel? How is that even possible? Well, let's break down the rumor mill and what's going on right now with the largest crypto YouTuber in the world. The parent of Hit Network, which controls the BitBoy crypto brand, has cut ties with its public face, Ben Armstrong, citing issues surrounding substance abuse and financial damage to employees. In an August 28th announcement on YouTube and social media channels, a spokesperson said the company reached this decision following efforts to assist Armstrong during his relapse into substance abuse. Expressing regret for the end of the business relationship, the firm claimed Armstrong had inflicted emotional, physical, and financial damage on Hit employees and others in the space. Now, I haven't heard any official announcement here from BitBoy as of yet, so we'll see how accurate some of these, allegations are. The announcement did not elaborate on any indictments that may have led to the end of the business relationship with Armstrong. The crypto YouTuber had been involved in a class action lawsuit in which investors claim Armstrong and other influencers allegedly promoted FTX without revealing compensation from the exchange. And amid the lawsuit, court filings suggested Armstrong issued threats against lawyers representing the plaintiffs and openly mocked a federal judge's authority by not appearing in court as ordered. The case was stayed on June 16th. Now, using his platform with more than 1 million followers and YouTube subs, Armstrong insulted high-profile figures, including European Central Bank President Christine Lagarde. Who hasn't insulted her, and Gary Gensler? Anyways, in August of 2022, he filed a defamation suit against YouTuber Erling Mengschul, also known as Atozi, but dropped the case after he raised more than $200,000 for his defense. So he is no stranger, obviously, to controversy. Now, many X and YouTube users reacted with support for Armstrong following the August 28th announcement, expressing concern with the future of the BitBoy crypto brand without its most recognizable face. Armstrong launched his YouTube channel back in February of 2018, and as of August 2023, the BitBoy crypto brand had a total social reach of more than 3.3 million followers. So that's a tragedy in of itself. Imagine building up something from scratch to millions of followers and then losing it all and being fired from your own company. It kind of reminds me of the story of Steve Jobs when he was, the board of directors voted him out of the company, and then he went and founded Pixar, and then he went back to the company more financially successful than ever before for the perfect fairy tale story. But how do you think things will likely play out for BitBoy? Were you a fan? Were you watching his YouTube channel? Let me know your honest thoughts in the comments below. Do you think he really relapsed, or do you think this is nothing more than mere allegations and a takeover and a coup, as he once described it as? Let me know your honest thoughts in those comments right down below. And now let's discuss our next breaking story of the day. The macro guru Raoul Pal predicting the Bitcoin price action, looking very reminiscent to a time when we soared over 200%. So let's break this down, and welcome to everyone in the live chat. We have over 300 people here live just on YouTube, a bunch of people over on Rumble, so you gotta smash that like. I greatly appreciate it. It helps out tremendously with the algorithm. So in a blog post, the macro guru says Bitcoin's 30-day historical volatility just moved below 20 for the first time since the start of this year. Powell says hitting the 20 level had historically set the scene for the king crypto to go on a huge run in the succeeding months. Quoting him here, after a strong start to the year, 60% to 100% rises, the crypto markets have been completely dead over the summer. This 20 level had always produced huge moves over the subsequent 2 to 4 months. April of 2016, 83% plus in 2 months. October of 2016, 85% plus in 2 months. March of 2019, 214% plus in 3 months. July of 2020, 102% plus in 4 months. In January of 2023 this year, 85% plus in just 3 months. That's literally 90 days. So Raoul Pal is keeping a close watch on the Bollinger Bands, which is a widely used volatility indicator. And according to the macro guru, Bitcoin's Bollinger Bands are currently the tightest on record as it hovers close to the 20 level as well. Quoting him here, only one other month historically have we ever been below 25, which was back in April of 2016. And back then, Bitcoin went on a rally 44x into the 2017 high. Now, holy moly, can someone run the math for me? What if, hypothetically speaking, the Bitcoin price went on a run 44x from today's price of roughly 28,000? Run the math, and I'll be reading this out loud in a little bit as I check comments towards the end of the show. And now for some predictions for Ethereum. Looking at Ethereum, Powell says that the leading smart contract platform continues to trade within a bullish continuation pattern despite the market-wide correction over the past few weeks. Quoting him here, additionally, as we highlighted last week, ETH also seems to be forming a large bull flag pattern. So there you have it. Let me know if you agree or disagree with the bullish sentiment of the macro guru, and which cryptocurrency are you most bullish on right now? Bitcoin, Ethereum, another altcoin? Let me know your honest thoughts. And again, let me know where you're tuning in from in the live chat as we continue to climb. I greatly appreciate everyone's support. Now let's discuss this $100,000 target for the King Crypto, surpassing the market cap of gold. And then we'll break down the latest from the high priest of Bitcoin, Max Keiser, and his $1 million Bitcoin price prediction, as well as his latest predictions overall. And then we'll dive into our live Q&A as the market continues to pump. Hopefully we'll be above 28,000 before the end of the show. Send it. Now let's get into this next story of the day right here. As you can see on your screen, the next Bitcoin halving event, which is scheduled to be in roughly 6 months. And the consensus opinion amongst analysts and investors is that the halving will send the Bitcoin price to a new all-time high of above 6 figures per coin. That's $100,000. Send it. Let's go. Despite this belief, the absence of fresh inflow of the crypto market, the current macroeconomic headwinds, and Bitcoin's recent price action below 30,000 do not inspire much confidence in this theory in the short term. Well, at least before this recent pump, right? In a recent interview with Paul Barron, Hut 8 Vice President Sue Ennis shared her thoughts on how the Bitcoin price will rise above $100,000 per coin in the next year, and how the upcoming halving will impact Bitcoin miners. Now, Hut 8 currently has a balance of 9,152 BTC in their reserve, of which 8,300 is unencumbered, and the company installed ASIC hash rate capacity sits at 2.6 exahashes per second, and Hut 8 mined 44.6 BTC just in July. So in the interview, Barron inquired whether rising Bitcoin difficulty for miners could induce a fresh wave of sell pressure against BTC. And citing data from Hash Rate Index, Barron observed that the spikes in Bitcoin difficulty were followed by drops in the Bitcoin price. Now, Barron's question if miners were selling Bitcoin as a result of the upcoming halving created a need for more efficient ASICs, and whether the Bitcoin pre- and post-halving price action would not be as bullish as investors expected. Quoting Ennis here, there's a lot of really unprecedented dynamics that are happening now in the mining space. What's interesting is hash rate continues to come online. Despite Bitcoin price trading in a certain band, we are still seeing the hash rate increase. That's right, continues to hit new all-time highs. And she goes on, what's changed now is that we are seeing Bitcoin price come down a little, but the hash rate continues to go up. I think what's really exciting and different is we're seeing a tremendous amount of new entrants into the global Bitcoin network. So welcome to everyone just joining the Bitcoin network. Ennis referenced 6 gigawatts of nuclear and renewable energy being generated in the Middle East, and with the region's governments exploring Bitcoin mining as an option, more hash rate is coming online in a way that is somewhat price agnostic. This is drastically different from how publicly traded US-based and more forward-facing miners operate. So in order to stay afloat after the halving, Ennis suggested that the miners need to be in a position to avoid being single-threaded. An example, they need more than one way of earning revenue beyond just mining BTC. Revenue diversification would include exploring various artificial intelligence applications, dedicating some warehouse rack space to GPUs for companies specializing in AI training, and possibly offering industrial level ASIC repair services, or even participating in demand response initiatives with large energy producers and distributors. Now let's discuss the higher prices, which are programmed thanks to the halving and eventual Bitcoin ETF. Send it. Crypto investors have waited years for the launch of a spot Bitcoin ETF, and even with the recent influx of apps and approval by the US SEC, remains elusive. Despite the history of delays and denials, and has said that a spot ETF coming to the market, that's incredibly bullish for the asset class, but she also cautioned that an approval could create sell pressure on the miners' equities, given that mining stocks have often been used as a proxy investment to Bitcoin. So regarding the percentage chance of a spot Bitcoin ETF approval by the end of this year, here's what she had to share. Definitely better than 50. The real reason for my opinion on that is that Blackrock threw its hat in the ring. Blackrock being powerful and the largest asset manager in the world, for them to throw their hat in the ring and say, this is what we want, and the amount of clout they have had in the markets and past initiatives has been so tremendous. So I think for them to make this call, that is a real bullish signal. That's right. And regarding a potential target for the Bitcoin price, here's what she had to share. I definitely do think we can see in this next cycle $100,000 cost per Bitcoin, and that's based on if Bitcoin were to capture even 2 to 5% of gold's $13 trillion in place for institutional portfolios. If Bitcoin were able to capture even 2 to 3% of the gold market cap, that would be incredibly accretive to the price and push it north of $100,000 per coin. So there you have it. Send it. Let me know your honest thoughts with the Bitcoin halving scheduled to be in April of 2024, roughly 6 months out. Do you think it's realistic that we can still hit six figures, $100,000 plus per Bitcoin by this time, as many analysts are suggesting and predicting? Let me know your honest thoughts in the comments right down below. And now we have close to 400 people here in the live chat. Don't forget to smash that like. And again, I greatly appreciate y'all's support. Y'all are amazing. Much love and much respect. Now let's break down our featured story of the day. And that's the latest from the high priest of Bitcoin, the one and only Max Keiser. He recently made a prediction that he believes the Bitcoin price will soar to $1 million per coin. So I want to share some of his thoughts. He goes on to share, this country, referring obviously to El Salvador, will be debt free by 2030 with Bitcoin and geothermal Bitcoin mining. And at this current moment, they're setting up shop for the geothermal energy while they introduce other alternatives for, solar and other ways of clean energy to be mining Bitcoin. He also went on to share that countries around the world are beginning to accumulate and mine Bitcoin as the world of fiat money and central banks disintegrate. With the benefit of President Nayib Bukele's new laws, such as making Bitcoin legal tender, we have the ability to lead the world and arguably become the richest country in the world. So shout out to all the people of El Salvador. Keiser has been a very vocal proponent of Bitcoin as a currency, declaring that all fiat currencies are going to zero compared to Bitcoin. Keiser explained that Volcano Energy's market cap will grow to $50 billion, exceeding El Salvador's GDP, which is estimated to be roughly $29 billion. This growth will be powered by the rise of the price of Bitcoin to $1 million per coin, he says. He qualified this prediction as a mathematical certainty. And now for some more great quotes, I recently transcribed the recent interview he did with Swan Bitcoin. Here's what Max Keiser had to share. With Bitcoin, it's kind of the end of price discovery because everything will be priced in Bitcoin eventually. Preach. Everything goes to zero against Bitcoin. And so for someone like myself who has been following this for 40 years, the finance markets, technology, Bitcoin is the holy grail. It is the end all. I would say my compatriot in all of this is Michael Saylor. And when you hear Michael Saylor talk, he talks about the aesthetics of Bitcoin, the beauty of Bitcoin. He speaks about it in a way I think carries the torch from the Max and Stacy Herbert of 2011. He started buying it, I guess, when it was 10,000 or 12,000 or so in the 2020 era. So here we are there from 2011 to 2020. And I think he's kind of carried the torch from 2020 in a lot of ways, introducing Bitcoin to massive pools of capital, including Elon Musk, fam. I'm surprised that more companies haven't followed his lead, giving the upbreak in inflation we have had exactly as Saylor predicted, the melting ice cube as he called it at that time, which is exactly what happened. Well, I guess we can say now we're now in the era where Blackrock and these other major institutions are now looking at Bitcoin. So his work on the institutional level, I guess, is bearing fruit now 3 years later. Facts. I see in the Middle East, they're starting to recognize Bitcoin. So that's a huge pool of capital. I think all of that oil money will find its way into Bitcoin and be a huge catalyst for high prices. It is a natural way for the oil industry to diversify their portfolio because Bitcoin is essentially energy, and the energy eventually gets priced in Bitcoin. And there is a marriage between these two in a big way. So I think it's kind of the answer. I've always been fascinated by price discovery in markets and the architecture of how markets work under the hood. And Bitcoin is such a pristine, perfect money. And I think it's something the humans have been searching for since forever. And now we're seeing it change society on a really fundamental level with the introduction of Bitcoin. A lot of people are freaking out because saying it destroys the status quo, and a lot of people have been waiting for it to come along and had the faith that humanity can be saved. They see Bitcoin in those terms, so you have this split going on, which is very exciting. So it just continues on and on. How could you not be interested in Bitcoin? I think that people who were into it earlier and walked away just never got it from the beginning. Once it's categorized as an asset class, we have nothing to do except position ourselves in this asset class, and we already know it's an asset class, fam, right? Either we're going into a small position or a big position, but we cannot ignore it. We cannot not have a position. Now pay close attention to what he shares here. So even 1% of that multi-$100 trillion funds available moves the needle on Bitcoin, and it moves it up considerably. So if we get into the 5-10% range, then you start to really see it raise ahead to the 7-figure type predictions that people have been making, including myself, because it is an asset class. Preach. And on the flip side, we have what we saw in the gold market, which is the ability to control price discovery and manipulate prices it's real through the derivatives market. So the price of gold has been lagging inflation for 20 years because the government around the world don't like gold making their fiat money look bad. So they make it easy for huge funds to manipulate the price of gold and to scalp it and continuously skim profits off of gold, which is what they do almost every single day. You can watch it and see it. In fact, it's pretty clear. And they are very good at keeping the price of gold and silver down. There's something like for every ounce of silver, there's probably 50 ounces worth of derivatives floating in various exchanges around the world that are used to keep the price of silver down because the governments don't want gold to race ahead to draw capital out of their fiat money scam and into gold. And now with Bitcoin, we have the ability to pull our private keys, which is not really available with gold. So technically, people can take delivery of gold on these exchanges, but there has never been an organized attempt to do so. That's right. We tried to do it a few years ago with Crash JP Morgan, buy gold and silver, because after the 2008 financial crisis, when JP Morgan ended up buying Bear Stearns effectively for nothing, they inherited this huge multi-million short position that Bear Stearns was managing at the behest of presumably the government. The government likes to stay involved. And so I did some calculations and it became clear that if this short position were not covered, the price of silver got to $60 or $70 an ounce, it would bankrupt JP Morgan Chase. So we started this Crash JP Morgan buy silver campaign and we got the price of silver from $15 up to $50. So we got it up to the old Hunt Brothers $50 level. And then the Fed, of course, came in and they changed the laws overnight to make it possible for these banks to have and carry much greater short positions in silver. So they printed up a lot of paper silver derivatives and they stopped the run on their bank and the price went back to $15 or so. And so we've seen what is possible to force capitulation in the silver market. But at the end of the day, because the ability to pull your private keys is not like it is with Bitcoin, I don't think it'll ever succeed. Whereas with Bitcoin, you can pull your private keys. Very powerful words coming from Max Keiser on how the regulators and Wall Street use derivatives, which is classified as financial weapons of mass destruction, according to Warren Buffett, to manipulate the markets. As Max points out, for every ounce of silver, there's 50 ounces worth of derivatives. This is why we don't want futures ETFs for Bitcoin. We need the spot. We need the real deal so that they're holding on to the underlying asset so they can't use it to wreck the investors, as Gary Gensler in the SEC is notorious for. But let's continue with some more rants from Max Keiser as he made some very phenomenal predictions. He also recently shared here in a tweet on August 11th this year, Bitcoin has already and will continue to outperform everything else so spectacularly by 100x or more that anyone holding fiat, stocks, bonds, gold, all the ish coins, property, etc. will literally be impoverished. And he also goes on to share, Bitcoin is designed to be attacked. When the EU says we need to attack the price of Bitcoin, that's music to Bitcoiners' ears because all attacks mean greater hash rate, greater security, and higher prices. Preach. And he continues, it's designed to be attacked. The more you attack it, the higher the price goes. So we welcome the EU attacks and the IMF and Christine Lagarde and the central banks and the Federal Reserve Bank. Please attack me so that the price can go to $100,000, $200,000, $1 million per Bitcoin. Thank you. So there you have it, coming directly from the high priest of BTC. Welcome everyone in the live chat. I mean, close to 500 people on the live. You got to love it, respect it, appreciate this pump, appreciate all the support. Make sure to smash that like if you haven't done so already because it's free to do so and it helps out tremendously, like I mentioned, with the YouTube algorithm. Shout out to Fernando, shout out to Matthew, shout out to Stephen Hubs, Ricardo Rivera, Adam Wild. Good to see Mrs. Still Stacking. We got Bitcoin Maximus. Shout out to the OGs. Shout out to Jose Rodriguez, Armando, David number 23. Good to see the fam, Tim's Crypto, John Drake, Mike C. Like It, Uber Hodler. We got the entire crew in the building. Make some motherfrickin' noise, shall we? What's up, James Elsey? Appreciate tuning in, supporting the movement. Jack, good to see you. Paul Gamble, appreciate the smash like. Much love, much respect. Happy Pump Day, Crypto News Alerts fam. We live for days like this. Over 420 people in the live chat. Yeah, I'll smoke to that. Word up. Bring facts. Good to see you, fam. Great news. He says, I am still puffing on that blunt I rolled with the Grayscale SEC court papers. Much respect. Let's go. Welcome, Joe. Good to see you, JK. Ilya, the Grayscale news is fire. Dynamite, light that. Let's go. You already know Grayscale is trending 100%. How are you, Jade? It says Crypto Surge. What's good? It's definitely a beautiful day. I have a whole car ride going back home from the Bronx to Brooklyn. Shout out to my fam in Brooklyn, the Boogie Down down Bronx. Shout out to all my crew and family out there. My family is all from New York. If you didn't know, now you know. Both my parents were born in Brooklyn. Chris Minka, I still stand on that 24.8. Was that the bottom of the correction? I dollar cost average all day. Did you guys? How many of you took advantage of this dip? You know I've been bullish, where everyone's been preaching a new low. We're gonna go past or below 15,700. I remain bullish, and lo and behold, the bulls are back, fam. I told you when you least expected it and thought it was safe, Onyx hit you in the face, so slam. How many remember that throwback? Let's freaking go. Now I'm lit. Greetings from Azros. What's up? Nice day for Bitcoin. You got it. Smash Tope, everyone. Shout out to Clearwater, Florida. DCA Bitcoin no alts. Much love, much respect. The SEC is a bunch of clowns. Clown world, truly. Armando, 623,000 Bitcoin in the Grayscale trust. Is it that much now? I thought it was like 400,000. We're talking 600,000 plus BTC. Let's freaking go. The bull started at 16,000. I believe that as well. Chris Minka does seem to be that way. Big Bitcoin party in the Cayman tonight. Live it up, Tom Snyder. Much love. Appreciate tuning in. I said it right here last week that the Grayscale result will take us down a different route. Hee hee. Shout out to David number 23 for calling it. Much love, much respect. Lazy Turtle. I made another live, fam. I am here. Appreciate the support. Selling with Twins. Appreciate your support. Dankness. I appreciate your support. Shout out to all the mods out there. What are the next fundamentals happening in the crypto sphere? I mean, the biggest news right now couldn't be any more clear. Two major catalysts which will drive the price, in my opinion, above and beyond $100,000 per coin. First and foremost, Bitcoin halving scheduled to be in April of 2024, roughly only 6 months out. Market always pumps after the halving. It's a shoo-in, not even a question. Cycles are driven by the 4-year cyclical halving cycle. And then, of course, we have the spot ETF. Major news, just the SEC losing the lawsuit against, Grayscale has already made the Bitcoin price pump literally over $2,000 in a matter of 30 minutes or so. So I think we're likely to continue pumping heading into 2024. I couldn't be more bullish. Consider back in 2021, the all-time high is still sitting at 69,000. So we already know what Bitcoin is capable of. It's going to be a phenomenal season, to say the least. Add the year you were born plus your age, and it'll add up to 2023. That only happens every 1,000 years. Very interesting. Check JV's Discord if you want to see it. That's right. Really good charts are being shared from some of our fam, including Bring Facts, Digital Dankness. There's a charts channel in the Discord Crypto News Alerts server. So if you're not already part of our Discord, I encourage you to join us. It's discord.cryptonewsalerts.net. You'll also always notice the link in the description along with everything else. Also, as I mentioned earlier in the show, we recently released our secondary YouTube channel, which is for clips, where I'm going to be taking clips from the live stream and sharing them. So please help support us there as well. And I greatly appreciate everyone's help. Adios, BitLob. Karma is for the shills. He rug pulled on his sheep. It is what it is, facts. Appreciate the insights. I remember FX BitBoy was not Steve Jobs. No, I shouldn't be comparing him to Steve Jobs. I just said it kind of, the only time I can remember somebody getting booted from their own company, that's the first thing that comes to mind, because it's not typical. I thought or assumed he owned his own YouTube channel, but I guess if someone else is funding you and you don't own it, well, they can pull the plug from underneath you. I'm just grateful I own my own channel. However, YouTube has the power to pull the plug from me, but nobody else. Thank God, right? Juan Romero, what's up, JV? Let's go. Let's bring it. What's good? What's popping? What's new? Let me know. Matt, what's up? 44x would be equal to 1.2 million. Good to note. So if history were to repeat, we could potentially see another 44x rise. I don't think that's probable, but if it were to happen, holy moly, 1.2 million next cycle. Let's go. How many bags I have? No leverage for me. That's right. The people with the leverage are those getting wrecked. James, 1.2 million. I appreciate you breaking down that math for me, fam. Dustin Prince, Stacks seems like it will be a great altcoin. Shout out to Block Stacks. Good evening to Michael Volker. Good evening, Michael. XRP is king, says the real MAGA deal. Uber Hodler, you're funny, bro. I ain't watching any of these dudes because how they look. Just saying. I like that JV isn't a shill. Straight facts. I appreciate that. I don't shill any cryptocurrencies. The only thing we promote here on the channel, honestly, is Bitcoin. Why? Because there is no second best. Quoting the great, I shouldn't say late, but the great Giga Chad, Michael Saylor. What's up, J-Dub 21 mil? What up, Crypto News Alerts fam? Let's go. Shout out to Boomer Futurist, says let's freaking go. Shout out to all the plebs. Jay, he was milking those ish coins for all they're worth. I did notice that. I don't get involved with other people's affairs, but it turns me off personally. Anyone pumping ish coins, especially as an influencer, knowing the damage and collateral which can be caused when you promote something that isn't legitimate, such as a rug pull. You may promote it, because you bought it an hour ago. Now you promote it to your audience, and there's such a small market cap that just you suggesting it, especially if you have 1 million followers, it's going to pump it. And then what is the person that typically pump it, or the creator of the coin or the ish coin? They pull the rug, right? And they dump on you, and then all of the investors get wrecked. We see this as a common occurrence, unfortunately, way too often in crypto. So anyone doing that, I would stay clear of, and I wouldn't be, watching them or taking investment advice from anyone trying to shill you and profit off of you. I want to profit with you together. When Bitcoin goes up, we all win. I'm happy with that. I ain't greedy. I ain't trying to, make wins off of the misfortune of others. That's not cool. This is player versus player. So with these altcoins, when someone wins, someone has to be a big loser. But with Bitcoin, we can all win because we know the total addressable market is 700 trillion plus north. And Bitcoin is still less than $1 trillion market cap, right? The big institutions don't even have their positions yet in all reality. The BlackRocks of the world. Yeah, they have indirect exposure, of course, as they own a big majority of all the major corporations of the S&P 500. 4 of the 5 top Bitcoin miners are owned by BlackRock as a primary shareholder. Shouldn't be alarming, but it's just the nature of the beast that we live in, fam. Adam Weil, what's up? Armando, good to build your fighting skills for the war to come, 100%. JV, you're quite vibrant today. You can tell, right? No stop FOMO in. I wish I could see ya. It's not that far from North Myrtle Beach, so I'll try to slide up there. That's what's up. 420 having yeah. 420,000 per coin, 2024. Send it. You already know, fam. 100,000. My closer than we think. The God candle could be printed in rapid succession, says Uber Hodler. I hope you're right, fam. I think ETF is a game changer. Otherwise, I could have printed it in rapid succession. I think the ETF, yeah, I would say 6 months after the halving, we start our rocket ship to the moon. Send it. What's going on, Bitcoin Trini? Good to see you. Appreciate you tuning in. He built some impressive lung capacity with these dailies. That's right. I can just go on for hours and hours. I don't even need the water, but I appreciate it. Just saying. What's up? Mikey likes it. What's good, everyone just joining us? Lots of comments. It's hard to keep up today. Ricardo Ribeiro, we're still a long ways from the approval, but definitely on the right. Yeah, we're on the right path. That's the key. Discount GBTC trades with respect to the Bitcoin price dropped to 18%. It was 50% earlier in the year. The hour the Grayscale win news came in, Bitcoin went up 1,500 just like that. Let the fun and games begin. Let's go. The world is bigger than America. According to you, there is no untracked cash market, so keep thinking. Word up. You also can't lie about your Bitcoin holdings like gold or silver holdings. The blockchain is always auditable, so no fake assets to hide. You make a great point, Steve. Tweedledee, big ups, bro. Big up. Appreciate you. Matthew says criminals double down when losing power. That's why Choke Point 2.0 and these Bitcoin attacks, government criminals doubling down on their Ponzi scheme. You already know. What's new under the sun? Correct. 44x times 28,000 is 1.2 million. Appreciate all the math. What's up, Fernando? The 10-year high for silver is 29 bucks. So I don't know what Keiser is talking about. Paul Friel says buy low, buy high. All right. Orthodox says hodl in. I go all in every chance I get. You already know. Stop the Gensler clown. That's right. Impeach Gary. Get him out of office already, huh? This is the biggest crypto news of the year, in my opinion. It is bigger than BlackRock filing for the spot Bitcoin ETF. Word up, because they got the approval to convert the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust into a spot ETF, and they control over 600,000 BTC. Major deal. Everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the face. We quote Mike Tyson now. That's what's up. Here from Massachusetts, always thinking about the party in Puerto Rico, says Big Oski. I am a filmmaker. I can film a highlight video. That would be fantastic. That's what I'm looking to do. We need film people to record it, put out some excellent content, 100% for the crypto fam. Great idea. Appreciate your support. Looking forward to seeing you in Puerto Rico. I encourage everyone to join the Discord. I have a 100K Fiesta channel in our Discord on Crypto News Alerts, where we can discuss the party. I highly encourage you to get in there. The market is about to crash, says Richard. Word up. Send it. The bond market's where the massive Bitcoin market cap will come from. The gold market is not nearly as significant. U.S. bonds are already being abandoned, a traditionally safety asset. All flow into the king crypto, BTC, says Steve Dre. Word up, it does seem to be that way. Shout out to LFC Liverpool Film Club. Tony Jeffries in the building. Bitcoin will soar to 1.3 million, says Tarek. Send it, let's go. Hey JV, hey Sander, good to see you. What are the best Bitcoin miners? Off the top of my head, I don't know, but I think it was yesterday's show or the day before, we specifically went into detail of the top 5 Bitcoin miners in the world and the percentage that BlackRock owned as, a secondary or primary shareholder. But I don't know off the top of my head, but that's a good question to go back previous episode. Nipsey, how's our mascot? He's doing great. Digital Dankness, how was your kickboxing class today? Let me know. Gary Gensler is gone. Is he really gone, Baz? Did he get fired along with BitBoy? Wouldn't that be something? The SEC had not approved the Bitcoin ETF. It just has it look at it again. Quan Long, everyone was super bearish yesterday. What happened? Want to know what happened? Bitcoin's been mooning off of the news of the loss of the SEC and the massive victory for the entire crypto industry with GBTC getting the go-ahead from the court to be able to convert their product into a spot Bitcoin ETF. This is what we have all been waiting for a very long time, and hence why the bullish momentum is in the crypto sphere right now. Shout out to everyone on Rumble, and a heads up for those watching on YouTube, be sure to support us over on Rumble as a backup channel. You could be following us, and I greatly appreciate that, and vice versa. For those of you watching streaming live on Rumble, all the Rumblers out there, make sure to follow us on YouTube as a backup at the same time. So if God forbid something were to happen on one of our channels, we got backups ready to go so we can continue streaming live each and every day as we do here on the Crypto News Alerts channel. Dump your fiat for Bitcoin, says Juan Romero. Word up. I see where you coming from, fam. 100%. Hut 8 stock points out. Adam Wild, word up. Hasn't sold many mines, says ESP. Shout out to ESP Academy. Steve Dre, in fact, Bitcoin will become the new bond market. Very interesting prediction. Let's see. The beauty of $1 million Bitcoin, it makes Satoshi a penny, which is a beautified mathematical relationship. That's right. So we got one Bitcoin can be divided by 100 million Satoshis. So what are we saying? Once a Satoshi hits a penny, what's the price of Bitcoin going to be? Someone break that down. It has to be way more than $1 million, I would imagine by then. What are your thoughts? Hut 8 is the only top 5 Bitcoin miner that BlackRock isn't a top 2 owner of. Thank you, Matthew J. That was the insights I was looking for. Shout out to the fam. $1 equals 100 Satoshis, and all the Bitcoin clocks will be a thing of beauty. I need myself a Bitcoin clock. Why don't I have one? What's going on, guys? Baz says, sorry, just my prediction. Gensler hasn't gone yet. Just a matter of time, in my opinion. I hope you're right, Baz. I own a little Hut 8, CLSK, and Hive in my IRA. Small speculative plays, of course. I have a question. Does BlackRock own a piece of Grayscale? Can someone look that up? I know they own roughly 8% of MicroStrategy, and MicroStrategy is the second largest hodler of Bitcoin in the world. Michael Saylor's company. But I'd love to know. I think they control over 150,000 BTC. I want to know right now, if someone can look it up real quick and let me know in the chat, does Grayscale, is there an ownership by BlackRock, or is BlackRock not a part of that? That would be good to note. Yeah, so let's know. Satwise Jenks says $1 million. Okay, so 1 penny a Satoshi equals a $1 million Bitcoin price. Simple math. Let's make that happen. Why not? Chris Paul asks XRP and Cardano. I guess you mean Cardano. These are altcoins. They have their roles, in the crypto sphere. Obviously, XRP is a technology to be used as a bridge currency to usher in CBDCs. Honestly, I don't really support centralized cryptos. I don't support the CBDCs. I don't support the World Economic Forum. So I understand the use case, though, and there's bullishness there. But at the same time, I don't support anything besides Bitcoin because I don't think it deserves my support, and be honest with you. I believe in Bitcoin because of its decentralized nature. The fact it's incorruptible. It's not hiding behind the World Economic Forum. There's no Ethereum Foundation. Satoshi, kind of disappeared, so there's no attack vector to go after. TikTok, next block. every 10 minutes since the inception of Bitcoin. 14 years ago, we're still going strong, growing stronger, the network each and every day. The fundamentals have never been this strong. The difficulty continues to be adjusted, and it just becomes that much more difficult to attack it. Whereas a lot of the altcoins, they could be victims to 51% attacks. So we shall see how this all plays out in the ecosystem. What are your thoughts, fam? Please do let me know. Archie says Bitcoin is freedom, but is BlackRock? No. Good point. BlackRock owns a lot of the real estate in the world too. They're a $10 trillion asset manager. If you start to do the math, how much wealth 10 trillion is, it's a lot. It's larger than the GDP of many countries around the world, maybe minus India, China, and the United States. It's a lot of money. So there's a lot of power there. So for them to even, put in an application to the SEC, I think they're way more powerful than the SEC. So that's why everyone is so bullish right now with a spot Bitcoin ETF. We know BlackRock is eventually going to get the approval. The $1 million question is, when? When moon? What are your thoughts, fam? Let me know when we shall moon. Green Scorpion was good. Much love and respect. Shout out to Satwise Jenks. And all that can be said for Litecoin. Well, shout out to Litecoin. I know it's been pumping as well. Bitcoin outperforms XRP by a long shot. I do believe, of course, Bitcoin will continue to lead the race as it is the fastest horse in the race with the least risk. I'll leave it at that because obviously any altcoin with a small market cap can go up thousands of % in a day, but you can just as easily get wrecked the following day. You know what I mean? When it comes to the least risk asset with the least amount of risk, what's the only cryptocurrency deemed not an unregistered security by both the CFTC as well as the SEC? You already know, fam. It's Bitcoin. It's the only one. It's a commodity. You can't say that the same for anything else right now, except maybe XRP because they won, hypothetically won the lawsuit that they will be deemed not an unregistered security for the next 2 years until that appeal comes. But we'll see how it all plays out. You know what I mean? Steve Dre, MicroStrategy has outperformed Bitcoin this year. Word up, be careful what you wish for. BlackRock might pump the bags to begin. They maybe dump and control the price. You never know. You can just buy MicroStrategy and screw the BlackRock ETF. Well, the BlackRock ETF and ETFs in general is not really for the plebs, for people like you and I. It's for the big institutions because it's a requirement for them to be able to invest the large sums of money from their corporations or, whatever, their corporate treasuries into Bitcoin. So it's needed for those trillions of dollars sent to the market, but it's not needed for us. We can just buy the underlying asset from any major exchange, take it off that centralized exchange and put it in our cold storage and call it a day. You know what I mean? Let me know if that makes sense. You're welcome. Sheep has billions of coins, XRP too. Just do the math on the market cap divided by the coin price. YouTubers shilling XRP and Sheep are trying to dump on the retail. Scammers. Word. Armando says MicroStrategy is up 171% year to date. Not too shabby. I'm sure sailors loving it. Spread too large, but a clear indication of institutional interest. 100%. XRP is digital fiat, not a commodity. US dollar is not a security or a commodity. XRP is digital fiat. Exactly. Great sentiment there, Matthew. I agree. Gonna have to get that back wall painted with a Crypto News Alerts logo. Word up. Wouldn't be a bad idea. Anyone want to volunteer? Slam. Let's get it. Y'all remember that Onyx throwback? Y'all remember Sticky Fingers? Classic. The OGs. Where you guys at? That would be fantastic. I mean, I'm excited for what's to come. Obviously, the bullishness from now compared to where we were last year after the collapse of FTX and Three Arrows Capital. Last year was one of the worst bear markets in crypto history. What comes after, such bearish sentiment? We're destined for mass bullish sentiment. We're long overdue. And if you stood the test of time, you're still here. You still, you're stacking your sats, your dollar cost averaging, and you were smart enough to hold when everyone else was dumping and proclaiming Bitcoin's going back to 3,000. If you had the balls to hold, you deserve these pumps. You deserve to witness Bitcoin climb from 26, where it was earlier today, to 28,000 within 30 minutes. You deserve $100,000 price action. You deserve $1 million price action. If you're unwilling, to hold your bag through the 10% dips, do you genuinely deserve the 100% gains when the God candle comes in like boom, like Godzilla in this mofo? That's the $1 million question, right? Many of you deserve it because you've been here through thick and thin. We've been through the bear market, preaching the holy gospel of Satoshi each and every day, right? And eventually, Bitcoin price catches up. You know what I mean? You can't keep a good thing down for so long. Maybe they can manipulate the market a little, suppress it a little, a little choke point 2.0, put you in a chokehold using some Gary Gensler jiu-jitsu SEC tactics, but we will break out of that chokehold and we continue to soar, continue to rise on our parabolic path as the Bitcoin purchasing power against the dollar is guaranteed to go up, and mathematically the US dollar is guaranteed to go down in purchasing power. So as Max Keiser shared, everything will eventually go to zero against Bitcoin. Let me know if you agree with that sentiment in those comments. And let's wrap up here. Not enough Bitcoin for everyone, just stack sats while you can. That's right. Not even every millionaire in the world will be able to say they're a whole coiner and hold one Bitcoin. Not even half the millionaires in the world will be able to say that, but hopefully you will be able to say that because you're tuned in here to Crypto News Alerts on a daily basis. World GDP in 2022 is only 100 trillion. So you mean to tell me that Blackrock owns 1/10 of the total wealth in the world? Holy moly. Maybe not 1/10 because total addressable market's a little larger, but that's a huge chunk, is it not? According to the World Meter. Thank you, Jonathan. Everyone gets Bitcoin at the price they deserve. Facts, Armando. Appreciate you sharing. Look at the Bitcoin ETH chart. ETH is down since 2017, not USD against Bitcoin. Facts. April 2017, 0.156 to ETH to Bitcoin high will most likely be surpassed eventually, if not this cycle. SatWise says had 133 trillion market cap in 2022. Interesting, the world GDP is less. That is interesting. How does it shrink? Does that make any sense? Manipulation? Maybe it all went into Gensler's bank account. Who knows? You know what I mean? Even if it does, or Larry Fink, even if it doesn't, ETH is going to do very well and probably outperform Bitcoin from today into the future. Time will tell, says Steve. I've looked at it many times since yesterday, referring to it now. Word up. They lost against Bitcoin. They lost proof of work. Get richer through another elitist coin, stack in the governance. You can have your opinion, a little back and forth banter. I love it. Yeah, they tell the SEC when to approve their ETF. Yeah, you already know. We know how things really operate behind closed doors. It's not new under the sun. And there's three things that cannot be long hidden: the sun, the moon, and the mother truth. Preach. Anyways, fam, now for a recap, what I covered with you here in today's show, we broke down the latest technical analysis as the Bitcoin price jumps to 2-week highs on the Grayscale versus the SEC. Bitcoin ETF win. We also discussed breaking news that X is now licensed to store, transfer, and exchange Bitcoin and digital assets for its users. Let's go. As well as breaking news, BitBoy Crypto fired from his own YouTube channel. We also discussed the latest with Bitcoin flashing a bullish signal that previously preceded a 214% rally, according to the macro guru, Raoul Pal. We also discuss Bitcoin may hit $100,000 by capturing 2 to 5% of the gold market cap before the halving, scheduled to be 6 months out in 2024. And we also discuss the latest and greatest from the high priest of Bitcoin, Max Keiser, and his $1 million Bitcoin price prediction. But where do you feel the Bitcoin price is likely to go next?